Right, folks, it's been a while since we've done one of these videos. The reason is obviously I've been posting tactics in bulk and I haven't been posting Gears 5 PvP because I'm just not enjoying it. I've deliberated whether to do a big video on it. I've got a few videos I'd love to talk to about Gears 5 and the current state of the game. I've got a lot of things I'm itching to say, and I'm holding back on saying them because I think it's only fair to give the developers a chance to prove me wrong. I don't want to come out and make a big rant and a rave video if I don't have to. I don't want to come out and say the game's terrible, this is awful, blah blah blah, if it's not merited. So I've set myself a timer. I set myself a 2-week timer. It's been going down on Twitter if anybody's been wondering what the time was about. 2 weeks ago I said I'd pretty much quit PvP Gears. I think it's in a diabolical state. I think there's a myriad of issues which, yeah, I'd really like to talk on, but I won't. And this is the 18th developer blog I'll be covering. So I've done 18 of these developer blogs since returning to the Gears scene. And just as a quick summation, it feels like we're back at square one. That's what it feels like. We're right back to square one with the game, which is astounding. You've seen me post PvE videos. You've seen me post, Tour of Duty guides, master escapes, a few fun videos like the free-for-all victory. And why have I been playing more PvE? I've got a horde video. I've got multiple horde videos. I was even looking forward to the PvE based stream that got cancelled because I want to know more about PvE. I want it to improve. I've got lots of ideas I'd like to share about PvE, and that was cancelled. So that kind of annoyed me, and it's been effectively 2 weeks since the last developer blog. And I thought I won't come out and I won't rant and rave because there's COVID-19, there's a global virus. Let's give them some time to gather their thoughts, speak on some stuff, remain calm, because I was like at a boiling point with PvP. It was immensely frustrating. The community, the scene, everything has been winding me up recently, and I was like this close to like absolutely blowing the lid. The game's not in a good state. This is the first dev blog in 2 weeks. I've made the big video. It got 4K views. It's not much in the grand scheme of things, but it got well received. Somebody else did another great video and Jamie responded on the forums. Been loads of issues discussed by the community, and again, I want to thank you for supporting the content goal, thumbsing up all of the videos. And I understand if you're not watching the Gears Tactics videos, I understand there might be some spoilers in there, so what I've tried to do to help you out, the viewer, is not put any spoilers in the thumbnails and try to help you out so you can still check on the channel but not have anything ruined. So hopefully you've appreciated that. So you can head on to the videos, the Gears Tactic videos, and you can like and comment on them and not be spoiled. That way you can support me but not ruin it for yourself. That's kind of like a little balance I came up with. And now I feel like I haven't spoke to you in a while. That's why I'm kind of speaking a little bit more than normal. Let's go into this dev blog stream. I have no idea what to expect. I saw a picture recently with the amount of maps. There was a picture about the amount of maps that have been out since each game in 7 months. So like Gears 3, 4 and 5, and it compared the amount of maps each game had at 7 months. Gears 5 was obviously the lowest. The ranking system's broken. I know it's been changed, but there's no discussion about it. But I've held back, and I haven't said anything. So let's just see. Let's see what the dev blog is. Let's jump into it. Leave a like and a comment if you're glad we're returning. Again, tomorrow will probably be a load of Gears Tactics videos, but I am still here in the Gears 5 scene. We're just patiently waiting.
So, the one thing that I'd like to talk about is I'm seeing questions around maps, I'm seeing questions around characters, I'm seeing questions around ranked, I've seen questions around matchmaking. Question for you is, we also dropped a new controller scheme Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
So the new control scheme is called Shooter, but Shooter is something we're trying to do in terms of delivering a control scheme that's a little bit closer to what you experience in other shooter games today, but still retains that Gears feel, like not go full Judgment with it, so to speak, and try and find a middle ground, and also try something that gives you more control. So it actually splits roadie, evade, and cover actions into 3 different buttons.
And then Y is just Y. And then we've got reload is now moved to X instead of RB.
Yep. Yeah, so you mark with the right bumper as well.
Yeah.
And then the roadie runs on left click, which is a big change. The idea is that like you won't, with this control scheme, like kind of like Tournament, but to the next level, you won't really, unless you're trying to roll, ever have to take your thumbs off the thumbsticks. But also, and this is one of the big things, is that by having, it's kind of like shooting and like attacking actions on the right, and then kind of movement actions on the left, other than the evade. So it has kind of a bit more of a like clear synergy between what each hand should be doing, and they kind of like less crossover. What this does is it's on press. So basically, as soon as the button is depressed, it's gonna like give that little bit of extra time to check if I'm roadieing. If I just tap it, it's going to know immediately, like on the press, that I want to slide, and it's not going to kind of have that extended wait that you have with the other scheme. So it's going to feel a lot more responsive for people that prefer that. And then we're talking about potentially having a toggle so you can apply it to other control schemes as well.
I want to ask you, the viewer at home, how are you finding the new control scheme? The reason I'm asking you is I don't use a controller. I've heard a couple things that you can't turn and roadie run at the same time, and you don't have much control over the roadie run. It's not that great. I've had some people on Twitter saying that there's like some crazy stuff you can do with like left click remapped to A, and then you can do some mad bouncing. I've had people tell me it's good and people tell me it's terrible. What do you think about the new control scheme? Do you think that it could become the new default, or is it just a little extra? Although I will admit that playing on the keyboard, because I'm constantly thumbing down to my spacebar, I've actually got like borderline RSI from like playing like 6 months of Gears 5, so I think I might try the scroll wheel bounce purely just for saving my hand, because it's starting to get that pain with that I used to get when I used to play StarCraft for a long period of time. Shout out to Ruthless Joe in the stream. Ruthless Joe is a loyal Zicario, tunes in almost every single stream on Twitch. Twitch.tv/GGZ, become a Zicario. Today support me like the boy Ruthless Joe. No pressure, Joe. We're going to be watching you. Going to be watching you see if you perform.
Like, let's obviously get talking on to issues. You guys want to talk about a lot of the things that are going on, right?
Ranked. So rank's a hard one, only because where we are is we recognize that the current rank system has its issues.
Can we just be honest? Listen, alright, let me just hold back a little bit. I'm going to let him finish. I don't want to jump in. But can we just be honest and just admit the ranking system doesn't have its issues, as in there's a few issues. The ranking system actually doesn't work. I have played the game since launch, what's that, like 9 months, 8 months? There is no rhyme or reason to the ranking system. They say it's based on wins, it's not. I've gone on huge 50 plus win streaks, it's not based on wins. The only way you rank up in the game is based off maximum points. However, maximum points, it has an entirely different issue. I'm going to make a ranking video entirely to discuss it based on what they say today, because I'm hoping they clarify the situation in a lot of detail. But the ranking system doesn't work, so let's not say that the ranking system has its issues. Let's just be fair to all the people at home that play the game. Like, let's just be fair to them and just say, alright, we acknowledge you. The ranking system's completely broken, and that's a major problem. We have to fix it. Let's see what Dana says.
What they need to do to go up, and they don't understand why they go down at times. So that confusion is creating, from what I can see from what people are saying, is the biggest aspect of it. It's like, I went and I did well in a match and I thought I should have gone up, but I stayed the same, or I went down. And then we tried to do a fix in where we bumped it so people were going up on a win even if they didn't deserve to, based on the traditional pointing system of individual performance in that. But that was creating a lot of inconsistencies around scores and people not going up and that kind of stuff. So we removed that very quickly because we saw that our workaround wasn't something that wasn't satisfactory. So with all that being said, we've looked at it and we've thought, okay, how do we go and build a rank system that somebody can pick up and play and understand why I'm going up and why I'm going down? This is very much about people being able to sit down and go into a match and be like, I know if I do X, I'm going to go up. And if I know that if I don't, then I'm going to go down.
Yeah.
So
a ranking system, a player does exactly need to know what he's getting involved in. And he needs to know what he's getting involved in, or she's getting involved in a variety of things. They need to know, first of all, what level of match it's going to be. You know, am I in Masters? Is it going to be very, very try-hard? Am I in Bronze? Is it going to be a bit of a fiesta, a bit of a mess? Is it Diamond League? Is it going to be kind of high level? There might be one or two good players, you know, might be an average sort of upper class game. You know, what am I getting in for? How hard am I going to have to try? How good are the enemies going to be? 2, how do I gain points? How do I actually climb and improve? Is it just winning? Is it getting good score? Is it doing a certain objective, like the most captures? What's the objective? In League of Legends, which in my opinion has the best ranking system, yeah, it has its issues, but it has the best ranking system in terms of overall, you know, I would say it's one of the most regarded ranking systems as working. And the reason is, when I play a game, if I win, I go up in points. If I lose, I go down in points. Now that can be frustrating because you can hard carry your team and lose, but if you are consistently hard carrying, you are going to win more matches than you lose, and therefore you go up. Yes, it does make the climb ever so slightly longer because you can sometimes lose a game that you feel you should win and you go down, and that's frustrating. But everybody knows, okay, I win the game, I gain the points. The reason for this is in King of the Hill currently, you know, you've got 20 points to go, and you're thinking to yourself, this whole game I've been cross-lancered by 5 people, and as a result, the enemy team have lost. They've been completely whitewashed, but you're sat at the bottom of the team with barely any captures, barely any breaks, loads of deaths. But really, you're the reason you've won the game. You've been focused out of the game. As a result, you've created a load of space, and your team have gone and captured and won. You will get nothing for that game because your score per minute is low. You have not captured enough, you've not killed enough people, and yeah, you won't get anything. So you can win that game and get no points, and then that feels awful. The equivalent situation in League of Legends is you're an AD carry. An AD carry is a squishy unit, and you have an assassin. Now the assassin's meant to kill the AD carry, because the AD carry can technically kill everyone. So it's kind of like that balance. Now what can happen is you can be really weak as an AD carry, and their super strong assassin can kill you over and over and over again. And that can be frustrating. However, that can cause the enemy team with the fed assassin to lose the game, because he shouldn't actually be focusing the weak AD carry. He should be trying to do something else. Instead, he's got his head on, he's trying to kill this AD carry, and you have no fun. You're just dying over and over and over again to the ZAD carry. But because he's messed up, you win the game. You have no fun. You go 0-6, but you win the game. And as a result, you gain points, and you think to yourself, oh well, I was part of a winning team, I did my job, I won the game, I got points. Again, in Gears of War, you can hard carry, lose, go up in points. You can sort of contribute to a winning team in terms of like, oh, I smoked off all the angles, I crossed, I didn't really kill or down anybody, but I was constantly spotting and crossing, we won the game. Oh well, you didn't get enough points, you lost. And you can play a game of ranked, and it's a terrible experience, not to mention the fact you're always playing against stacks. So you can be a solo guy with 4 stacks, you know, a stack of 4 on your team, they're all getting all the points, you're at the bottom, you win, but the stack has all the points, you don't have the points, and as a result, you get nothing. You don't get any points, and then the next game, you're against a stack, you lose, and you lose even more points. You know, it's, for me, a system should purely be based on win-loss. But that can't happen right now in Gears of War because you're constantly playing stacks and there's no limitation to who you play against. So I don't just think it's people not understanding how to gain points. The system's just broken.
I think, yeah, like it's not about people complaining that it's difficult to go up. It's the fact that the experience of going up sucks, right? Is the better way to think about it with the current system.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So we just want people to understand that. So the new ranking system is being worked on, and we're going to go into a lot more details once we reveal. But I just wanted to let people like understand kind of what was that framework of which we were moving from to what we're moving towards.
Yeah.
And that's that satisfying of where we want it to be. And we feel like once that happens, and because it's so central to the game, and I think people are like, why is this taking so long? And can you just fix it? And blah, blah, blah. Once we sort of made the commitment to updating rank, and really that decision was made, I don't even know how long ago.
It was early in the year. It was like, what, February?
It was
late February,
right,
early March, I think.
Yeah,
in terms of a full overhaul,
it was late February, and we'd gone through, and there was a bunch of stuff inside of that. We had a big summit for the game, and there was a bunch of things that we mapped out, but that didn't feel satisfying, that people weren't happy with. That was when we talked a little bit about us deprioritizing tiles and going to start making more maps, so more map production is going to be taking place, that kind of stuff. So a lot of those decisions were made, and now where we're at is such that the rank system, because like the analogy I like to use is if you build a house, you've got things that are like superfluous, unnecessary walls that are just walls, and then you've got things that are load-bearing walls. And if you want to take out a wall between your bedroom and your closet, it's not a load-bearing wall. It doesn't really matter. If you want to take a load-bearing wall out of your house will fall down. So for us, and ranked is so central to the game, we couldn't just take ranked out and then work on it. We had to kind of go, and there was so many knock-on aspects of the side of that.
Interesting. I think I disagree with that. If they know that Gears of War ranked is a quote load-bearing thing, and I think they know that because every game these days has working ranking systems, doesn't it? League of Legends, Apex, Valorant, all of these games have working ranking systems. Dota 2, StarCraft, or any game I can think of has a ranking system basically, and everybody loves climbing. That's kind of like what everybody does now, isn't it? They want to improve, they want to climb, they want to get rank skins, post that they're a top 500 Overwatch player, that meme. And knowing that is so important to modern gaming, I just don't understand how the game could have launched with the ranking system the way it was. I understand that, you can't test a ladder system until you've got a lot of players on it. I get that. But it was so far wrong that it felt like nothing was tested. That's what it felt like as a player. I'm just voicing my feedback. That's what it felt like. That's a really terrible thing that happened. But okay, it happened. But it's now 7, 8, 9 months down the line, and we're now been told that the ranking system has been reworked. Great. It was spoke about in a summit, and it was seen as important. Well, I hope so. But the problem is, it's not even so much the ranking system. You could create the most perfect ranking system there is, but if you can stack on it, then everybody's rank is meaningless. And that is why I always bring back League of Legends and other games like that have working ranking systems. That's why it's so important to get it working and get the matchmaking working, because if your rank is worthless, people don't care about it. Your rank has to be it needs to feel worthwhile. Like if you're a challenger player on League of Legends, you're a challenger player. You haven't looked out. You haven't been a bronze player and got carried by your 4 challenger friends. You're a challenger player. 99.9% of people that are in challenger probably belong in challenger, and because the rank holds weight and it means something, people will work towards it. You're not going to work towards improving from silver to gold in Gears if it doesn't mean anything. People will literally spend months playing League of Legends ranked or a ranking system and go, yes, I went from silver to gold. And that's because the ranking system has validity. and the matchmaking's tight, which means everybody that has made it from silver to gold knows what that player has been through. If I say to somebody on League of Legends, hey, I'm a platinum player, they're like, oh, you're dealing with this, and they're also dealing with that, because all the matchmaking games are very similar. On Gears, if someone tells me that they're gold, or that they're onyx, or that they're diamond or masters, I don't even think anything. I don't think, oh, he's gold, he sucks, or he's masters, he's amazing. I'm just like, well, I have no idea, because the ranking system and the ladder has no validity, it holds no weight. So it's not even for me about the ranking system. Yeah, obviously, fantastic if it comes out and it works. The matchmaking's got to be done right. I wanted to say, they're asking us now, so they're not even asking us, they're just now saying, basically, we're going to let you know about the ranking system once it's revealed. The game was so broken since launch, ranking. I don't see how they're just going to reveal a ranking system on us and it'd be perfect. I feel like that needs to be discussed with the community first, but, who knows.
We wanted to make sure that we come up with a system that, no system is going to be perfect. We wanted to have a system that really managed a lot of the concerns that people were talking about. So that's kind of where we are. So I wish I could give more details on what that's going to look like. Dana's house building tips. Thanks, God couple. But I do want to get in and I want to talk a little bit about what that is. But right now we're not. And what we will do is we'll have Jote on, who Jonathan Taylor, who is the lead multiplayer designer. He will come on, and he was a central person in this ranked overhaul, and we'll let him talk about what his vision is, next steps of where we want it to go, and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of where we are with the rank stuff.
Yeah, but you're in production for a significant amount of time, so we've basically done that post-launch. And most games will, in a post-launch, not really revamp something. They'll try and take that foundational work that's already been built and kind of iterate on it, which is traditionally what we did, like in Gears 4 when we were kind of addressing feedback on things. Yeah. This is a real kind of go back to the drawing board. There's going to be elements of it that I'm sure will be leveraged, but it's a more extensive project because we are literally going, we hear you to the point where we're not going to try and iterate, we're going to try and like reapproach.
Again, and that's my point, and people said, oh, you're just salty, you didn't get it. Nope. I was saying the other week on Twitter, the ranking system's so broken that it needs to be fundamentally redesigned, and it seems like the team are going to do that. Fingers crossed it works, I don't know. But if we all know that the rank system is fundamentally broken and doesn't work, why are we handing out Masters skins for Season 1, 2, 3 when the ranking system doesn't work? People got Season 1 Master skins for like the Lancer, and the rank was actually bugged and people were stuck in silver. There was accounts confirmed to be stuck in silver. And also it just creates these sweaty games where people are trying their heart out for a rank that doesn't matter. Can we not just remove ranked and just say this is ranked, it's for people that want to try, but there's no elo on the line because the ranking system's currently been reworked or something? I think they should just be more honest and just come out and say this more often, because it's good when I hear the honesty, but there needs to be more. Not everyone's going to watch my recap, not everyone's going to watch the dev stream, not everyone's going to keep up to date on Twitter. You get a brand new player, he signs into ranked, and he doesn't understand what's happening with the rank system. Why am I going up? Why am I going down? I'm bronze. Why am I not going up? They'll just quit. They'll be like, oh, this ranking system doesn't make sense. I'm going to quit. Whereas if you loaded in and it said, ranked has currently been repaired. It's going under a full review. Please bear with us. It'll just give yourself some breathing room, Let the community know it's broken, because it is. There's no shame in it. People might go, oh my God, you can't admit it's broken. But I would rather have that.
And the same applies with the maps. Like, I actually saw a post from B-Shaps today being like, it's crazy that the Coalition's production planning didn't account for more maps. And the thing was that, like, when we went into Gears 5, we have, like, a huge suite of PvE modes. and tiles were going to be a big part of versus as well as PvE. As you remember, we talked about. Sorry, I should really focus on.
Right. I'm going to pause Liam there because I know what he's going to say. He's going to say there's a load of tiles. We made all these fantastic tiles and we were going to make maps. But when we made a tiled map, you all moaned. But the reason the community moaned wasn't because it was a tiled map. The reason the community moaned was it was like a 6-month wait. We finally got one new map and it was like what felt like a reuse of PvE tiles. If we'd have had like 10 maps built on tiles and then they'd have made some more tiles and done more maps, and then they'd have said, okay, you're bored of tiles, we're now going to take a couple months to create some new maps and then they'll be released, we'd have been okay because we'd have had a load of backlog of tiled based maps. The issue was, from my point of view, TC went for a tiled based map system, which I have no problem with. I'd have loved to have created maps with the tiles. I think the escape tiles are great. If you watch my Tour of Duty 3 guide, if you're interested on how to rank up in Tour of Duty 3, I made a guide, and the intro to that video was made using Escape's custom maps, and I made my own cinematic. I think there's a lot of cool tools, and I'm not knocking TC for making tiles. I think they're a really good thing. But the problem is they went to make a tile system, but we didn't even really get any tile maps. We got like 3 free-for-all maps that were kind of neither here nor there, and now we're ditching them and now we're waiting for real maps. People wouldn't have been annoyed if tiled maps were flying off the shelf. So what it seems like is you went in for the tile system, didn't even make any tile maps really, and now we're scrapping it and now we've got to wait again. That's people's problems. It's not with a map or a tile, it's with the rate of the
playing. But if you remember what we talked about, you know, even before release, we were saying there was going to be a versus map builder. And it's one of those things where, like, post-launch, like, we just listened, and instead of just going, well, we've decided to invest in this path, this is what we're doing, this is what you're going to take. You know, we're going to do the versus map builder, and we'll have more tile-based maps and stuff. The team know that that's not what you wanted, and we've learnt from it. And
I knew he was going to say. I told you he was going to say that. That's not what I want anyway. I don't think that's what other people want. People are not. I don't think anyone's out there going, I don't want to make maps. I don't want tiled maps. No, what people are saying is hurry up and make some proper maps, or make a lot of maps. I don't think people are saying, okay, well, like it seems like with TC. And again, I'm viewing, or how do I say, I'm portraying the viewers' views here, and I'm imagining what my viewers would say, and I'm voicing it back using my platform. That's what I do, because a lot of people don't have a big platform or a platform to speak. So I try to imagine what my viewers are saying, and I imagine what they're saying is, with TC, it feels like it's one or the other. Okay, you can have a map builder, but there'll be no tiles. You can have a tiles, but there's no map builder, or you can have new style maps, but then there's no tiles and no map builder. It's like, well, why can't we have the tiles and the map builder, and then in the background, whilst you're chucking out tiled based maps, also be working on regular maps? You know what I mean? I know that's a whole chunk of work, but that to me is what multiplayer is, and it feels amazing that we've got no maps. And I don't agree there with Liam saying that that's because that's what the community wants. No, I think the community would have anything. We just want something.
You know, that's why this change is coming post-launch, is that instead of, again, just sticking to our guns and going, well, this is the plan we made pre-launch, we're adapting and we're trying to make sure that we get things right. So, you know, in time, it's one of those horrible things, isn't it, Dana, where it's like, we say all these things, but only time will prove the effects of these changes, but it's just going to be a little longer. That's all. I don't know if you have anything you want to add to that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's an important part. Is as part of that summit, we had a lot of conversations about what's working inside of the game and what do we need to reprioritize on. One of the feedback that we gave was, hey, we need more maps. That's something that we've heard loud and clear from you guys. And the production of more maps is a bit like turning an ocean liner. It's not something you can just make overnight. We've talked about how long. Yeah. I mean, we've talked about how long it takes to make maps. So the team has reprioritized work around the maps, and more will be coming. But it's not something that I wish we could just snap our fingers, I think, if we had a bunch of maps waiting to go out, we would have put them out. We're not holding them for any other reason.
So there's a couple things to note there. They're not withholding any maps, which means at the time of this recording, there are no new maps made, because he just said they're not holding any back. And it's not just a click of a finger, but I don't think anyone's been that naive and saying, just make a load of maps, it's easy. No, what I'm saying is, we understand maps take a ton of time, but it's been 9 months, and there's been basically one map, which was All Fathers, which I consider, and Panahu, to be new maps. The rest were tiles that were built from tiles that launched with Escape. And I'm okay, if, like I say, if there was a ton of tiled maps, I'm okay, but there's basically been 2 new maps. One is effectively a massive open field, and then the other one, All Fathers, is one of my favourite maps. I really do like that map, but people aren't saying, oh, make 100 maps instantly. People are asking, I think what they're trying to say is, and maybe they're not wording it correctly, maybe what they're trying to say is, why are we still seeing new skins created? Why are we still seeing new banners created? Why is all of this stuff happening and then maps aren't being created? Now, I imagine TC will say, well, they're different people. The people that make the banners can't make the maps. Maybe they wait for the maps to be built and then they send them off to the people that make the banners, and then they art them up, and they design them art-wise. Maybe that's what happens. But I think they need to be more clear on that, because I think that's what people are getting frustrated at. They don't understand why in 9 months there's been basically 2 maps. Like I said, I was looking forward to the PvE stream. I think Dana's going to answer now where that PvE stream is going to be, so I'll play that now. But I saw somebody mention this on Twitter, and I'm sure somebody else in the comments is thinking it, so I'll voice your opinion. That's what I'm trying to do a bit more. I'm trying to voice what I think you are thinking, and then you get to hear maybe, my thoughts on it and their thoughts. I saw somebody say a great point. He said, I thought microtransactions were put in the game to fund all of this post-release content. Well, where is the post-release content?
Yet. We have some stuff coming that we're going to talk about when we're going to bring on that, because we want to give some context of what it's going to be. So hopefully we'll be able to do the PvE stream in the next week or 2. That's kind of where we're aiming from that.
Just to add on that, our kind of PvE lead, Michael Shannon, kind of recently showed me a bunch of the PvE kind of changes, like change list, I guess, like the balancing and tuning changes we're going to do coming up. And they're really interesting. Like, I think, we did a huge one at the start of the operation, and he's hard at work about what could come next on those tuning changes. And it's, again, like, I feel like a lot of people felt like we went forward with our changes in Op 3, and there's even more good stuff to come. So when that time's right, it's a big list to talk about already. Are
TC considering forced crossplay once Series X launches due to being the equivalent of PC? Toby, we actually haven't talked about that. So I know right now forced crossplay is something that always comes up on the stream, and it's funny because it's like a stream issue that doesn't really get talked about a ton outside of the stream. It feels like, at least not on like that I see a ton. It's not right now. It's not something that we are looking at, but also haven't discussed. So I don't know if I don't have a really good answer to that.
That's an interesting one there. That's really interesting, because they said the team haven't discussed it. It's not something they are thinking about. That's forced crossplay. However, a few dev blogs ago when Ryan was on, Dana himself and everybody there basically agreed that there was no cheaters on PC. I think it was like 50% of people use a controller. There's, for most people, you wouldn't even know if somebody was on a PC unless the icon showed them. Yes, there are top players on PC that would have an advantage, absolutely. And yep, there is an advantage, no disagreement there. But there are basically no players on PC, and the queue times are like 40 minutes. The amount of PC players that would be in your game, there'd be like one every like 100 games. You'd never really bump into PC players because there's barely any of us. And yeah, Ryan said that they were discussing 100% they were working towards crossplay being forced, and there was no reason for it not to be forced. And they'd said they'd discussed it internally, and now we just got told that there's never been a discussion for it. So I guess crossplay is never happening, so I already can't find games, so I guess that's pretty much like the end of Gears 5. Like, the only people I can play against are like the same very few people that either get angry and stream snipe me, or the games are real low elo if I drop my elo down from Masters to like Gold, Onyx, and then the games are complete stomps. So that's really interesting that they said that they've never discussed it, because another developer and in another stream they said they had discussed it and they were all working towards crossplay. A player I play with a lot, Gandhi, he was looking forward to that because he also noted that they said they were moving towards forced crossplay, but it turns out they're not, and they're not even discussing it.
Any thoughts of adding the customization stuff from Tactics to the main games? Well, first,
Right, I'll answer this question because I've seen this question in my own videos and on Twitch as well. People keep saying, can we have the Gears customization in Tactics? Look, I'll show you. If you go to YouTube and you head over to Gears Tactics, there's a load of stuff on my channel. Thumbs it up if you want. I'm not going to spoil anything now, don't worry. There's a load of videos here, and in there you're going to see a load of tactics. There's a spoiler-free review in here. This is no spoilers, it's a complete spoiler-free review. And in here, you're going to see the customization, a skill tree, and you're going to see the customization of the armor, like the guns, like this. Now, the reason it's important in a game like Tactics is when you're doing a mission, it can come down to what a 1 versus 1. You have to hit a percentage shot, and maybe you need some accuracy. So through doing the missions, you unlock cases, you get drops, because that's how you improve your squad to stay alive longer and do the runs. So obviously when you improve your accuracy, you need to see that visually represented. So a bigger scope might pop on, a bigger magazine might pop on, you know, you get a new armor piece, it might be a different color. You also want to be able to paint you guys so you can immediately look down in a top view and go, all right, the red guy, he's the guy that I've decked out with all the explosions. This guy's got the plated, you know, he's got the plated armor on, he takes extra damage. You know, there's a whole host of things that you need to be able to do in a tactics game, and it needs to be visually shown. When you're online, there's not going to be that level of customization because you don't need it, and it would be stupid. Now, should there be more skins, maybe you could pick a lancer and change the color for free. You know, maybe when you prestige, you know, instead of unlocking a desert camo, you could unlock a plain lancer that you're able to paint and you're able to change the color. Maybe there's stuff like that they could do, but that level of customization from Tactics, it obviously can't come to the main game.
Seeing lots of stuff about the typical aim assist, turn aim assist off in ranked. I know that Jamie had a conversation around that when he was on last time. Right now, there isn't any intent to make any changes to that. That being said, you never know.
Can anyone explain what is the point of making a ranking? What is the point of redoing the entire ranking system if you're not going to change the matchmaking settings to stop stacks and you're going to still have aim assist? Like, it might only happen once every 10 deaths, but occasionally, like I showed in my video, I'll slide to a wall, the guy will 1,000,000% have missed me, and I'll be aim assisted down. Am I meant to care about a ranking system where aim assist can give people kills, and sometimes the kill might be unimportant and you still might win the King of the Hill game? But sometimes it might come down to that one kill that you need. You get aim assisted, you die, you can't clear the hill, and then you lose. Am I meant to invest time into a system in 2020 where kills are being gifted to players? Come on.
Question, Gears Charles was like, can you elaborate on the map development process? How long does it take you guys to create a map? We've done a couple of really good streams where we've had our map designers on and talk about the creation of like Foundation and ones like that. Typically a map takes around 6 months from concept to gameplay testing to arting to getting into the game. So it's not fast. to get a game out or to get a map into the game. That is
Fully agree, but you've got to be honest, right? If it takes 6 months to create a game from its inception, a map from its inception to been placed in the game for you to play, because of testing, arting, blah blah blah, a remake surely takes less time. I know they said a remake takes just as much time, but it can't. It cannot take as much time, because you don't need to figure out the walkways. Does this walkway have enough width for a Brumac in it? Can this work with Horde? Can this work with this? Does this piece of cover work? Can you shoot from this angle? Is it oppressive? How does it play on multiplayer? If you've already got maps in the game, you don't need to go through that whole cycle of designing the map. You don't have to test it as rigorously for, flow or multiplayer impact. Yeah, you're going to have to test it a bit to see if it still functions on Gears 5, but no way the same as a brand new map. So it just can't take as much time. It's a point, maybe I'm naive, but I just refuse to accept that it takes as much time to remake a map as it does to make one, because again, the guy that remakes canals, he sits down with his team. Let's pretend they've cloned the teams. You've got a team making a brand new map and a team remaking canals. The team remaking canals already knows exactly what the map looks like, where the weapons are, how it plays, and their job is just to create that in the 3D world in the game and art it and then test it a bit and ship it. You don't have to draw the map up, you don't have to think of an idea or concept, so surely it just takes less time purely from that standpoint.
So that's kind of one of the reasons, but that's why I was sort of talking about the someone's like 6 months. That sounds like a joke. Did someone just really say that? I wish I could, 6 months isn't a joke. That's like the process. I think you guys are, that sounds like a lie. Gears 4, you drop 2 maps every 2 months. Well, I seem to recall a lot of those were iterations of the same map. They weren't like a brand new map.
To be clear, his 6 month timeline is a brand new map. So as in,
yes. If we're bringing back
original design,
if we're bringing back if we're bringing back Gridiron or not Gridiron, Gridlock, then obviously that's a lot faster for that to take place.
Right, finally, because that was, again, that's just another, and somebody that's got more time than me or more patience. There is a developer stream on my channel where I asked this exact question, or somebody asked it, and their words were, developing a remake takes just as much time as a regular map. Somebody was asking for River, and then Dana said, well, a remake takes just as much time, 6 months, just like any other new map, and people are getting bored of seeing the same old map, so we're not sure if people want to see new maps or remakes, and they both take as much time. I remember that specifically, and again we're now being given conflicting information because we've just been told it takes less time. So why are there not more remakes in the game if your entire community is getting pissed off with no maps? Churn some remakes out and then get going with some new maps. I'm trying to not get annoyed because I know they're not meaning to trip up, but I'm trying to imagine what the viewer at home is thinking. They definitely, and somebody again, comment below if you timestamp and comment below if you know what I'm on about. They definitely did say it takes 6 months to also make a remap, and now they're saying it doesn't.
What we're trying to fix is the sustainability of Gears 4's output. The maps are a big criticism on that game for different reasons. And so we were trying to balance it so that we weren't we were putting out more, but we were doing it in bigger drops, and then there would be stuff in between that would sustain it in terms of special events and all the stuff we usually do. Because the monthly effort in Gears 4 was making it much harder to deliver changes. If you notice, we've already done a lot more tuning changes to PvE and PvP, and been a lot more reactive with this way because it gives the team a bit more flexibility. And we've really been doing a lot of hotfixes lately as well. But I think we also know the downside is like the kind of cadence of the content and the amount that's happening is maybe a little bit weaker, and that's something we're aware of in the team. We've been talking about, and you know, you're going to see more and more of how that feedback's come in. Again, we're in this horrible stage where all we can say is, give it time, your feedback's going to come to fruition.
No, I mean, I think that, like, I think, you know, I saw a lot of.
I understand what Liam's saying there, and a lot of it makes sense. Like, there's Corona, blah blah blah. There's a load of stuff that's been remade. They probably can't talk about it. To be honest, a lot of the stuff they probably can't do, and we just have to wait. The problem is, the new Xbox just was announced. The PlayStation's going to be announced. People will be building new PCs to combat those Xboxes and PlayStations. You know, brand new games will be coming out that's going to utilize the fact that everybody's got better hardware. And you've got to ask yourself, do you think that there is going to be the player base to merit this? Like, I can already see it happening. There's going to be no player base. The new ranking system's going to come out. Bronze people end up in a Masters game or something, and then they'll say, well, in your region there isn't enough players. You know, maybe I'm being a bit negative, but really, you know, is there a lot to be positive about right now? For me, if I want to speak personally, I sign in on Twitch, I wait 45 minutes for my first game. The game is either a stomp or the biggest sweat fest of your life. I normally get people that sit in stream and stream snipe me and then abuse me. I'll get people that quit. I'll get people that don't load in. I'll get relentless quitters. I'll get people that stand still. People that troll. People that, again, just try to basically give it the big one in Twitch chat. You know, tweet at me and all of this just to get a mediocre gaming experience. I only stick around because I really like Gears of War. I was reminded yesterday, I got a comment, it said, hey, what about this crafting video? And I realised one of my old Path of Exile videos, one of the videos I posted just before I came back to Gears, it had like 8,000 views. One of them had 39,000 views. So, you know, I was doing pretty good when I was playing Path of Exile. The reason I stuck around with Gears was I really like Gears of War. I'm not here because I'm here for mad views, like there's other ways to get more views. I'm here because I like Gears and I want to support you as a community. And in return, you've been great and have supported me. But you've got to wonder, haven't you, in a few months' time, when all the new maps have come out, you know, let's say in 6 months there's 10 new maps and there's a fully working ranking system, people are going to be playing the new Xbox games or the new PlayStation 5 games. I don't think they're going to be here on Gears 5, and yeah, I just feel like it's too little too late. I hope I'm wrong, but
are going to be as a result of us trying to address a lot of the feedback that you guys put forward. So I wish we could do it as fast as we could, as fast as you guys want. Yeah. But it's something that, you know, we made some decisions around the type of game that we wanted to ship with, and now we're looking at it and going like, you know, we missed the mark. Some of this wasn't exactly what you guys think of as a classic Gears experience. So now we're going back and we're saying, well, how do we go and adjust these things to make it feel.
And again, I feel for the developers. They're human beings. They probably get a tremendous amount of abuse. They probably hate the fact I'm sat here doing this video. They probably think, oh my god, it's that fucking wannabe know-it-all GGZII posting another shit video. That's probably what they think. I know that. They're not going to say that to me because they're nice people, but that's what they probably think. They probably think, what a dick. Shut up, mate. You don't know anything. You've never built a game. What the fuck do you know? I know that's what they think, but I do it to voice your guys' opinions. And I know that they know that the game didn't hit the mark and they're going to turn it around. Gears 4 apparently started off terribly. I wasn't there to play it, and apparently by the end it was great. I'm sure Gears 5 will be the same. I know that's what they probably think. They probably think I'll get so much abuse for this goddamn game. This idiot's making YouTube views, he's tweeting, shut up bro, you don't know anything. I'm not stupid, I know that's what they think. Some people, like today, they were arguing going, oh, you think you're a know-it-all, you think you're so important because you one developer listened to. No, nothing to do with that. I was in Skype calls in Gears 3 with blooming Stotty and Pete Nubb. Gears 2 I would talk to the developers. Gears 1 I didn't, but you know, Lee Perry remembers me. Yeah, you know, Joe Graff, There's also Will from Gears 3 who gave me the beta code, and I chatted to him. I'm not like, I don't think I'm like, oh, I know everything about the game, listen to me. No, I'm just a person giving my opinion. And when I watched the Gears videos and I looked around at the scene, I thought to myself, no one's doing this type of content. So I'm going to bring back the content I used to do because I enjoyed it and no one seems to be doing it. So
Yeah, well, no, as in the speed boost change that we made so that the game itself, like, you feel slower until you get that roadie run, you can get those speed boosts. You can't get them off the rip anymore.
Yeah, I think there was talk about reducing the amount of time of roadie running into to get the speed bumps, speed boost to accelerate that. So rather than, so we still don't want you to be able to have the boost from everything that I've heard. There is no plan to have the boost happen from a standing still.
So here we have the next confession. That they're now going to make the boost appear quicker, so you have to run less, which is just going to mean more and more speeding around the map. The game is already unreadable, the netcode is terrible, and then you put these super fast animations with a massive gib range. I know there'll be people thinking I've given up on it. The gib range is still too big. To make good gameplay, the gib range is still too big. But if you lower the gib range, you're going to have to lower the rifle damage, and you can see there in the studio, they're not even sure if there is a Lancer problem. So I've just got bored of talking about it. I don't think the game's ever going to be the game I think it could be, which is kind of why I've like drifted away from it a bit this past couple of weeks. It's just ridiculous, like the fact that these people want a speed boost, they want to be able to up a body you across the map, they want to be able to reaction shot and shoot behind them, and that's okay if it's camera shotting, but if there's barrel shooting, why can you reaction shot to the side? Why can you shoot through your back? There's all these stupid shots. Yesterday I saw mantle cancel into reaction shot, completely unreadable, because if you shoot where he mantles, he cancels it and then kills you. If you wait to see if he cancels it and he doesn't, he's then going to mantle you. There's so many stupid things in the game, and it's like, it's not going to be fixed to the way I think me and my audience want it to be fixed, because people want the speed boost, they want the hyper bounce, they want the Nasher hyper bounce crap, they want the active Lancer, they want the Lancer to be, quote, powerful. Put it this way, we're probably dealing with the most overpowered Lancer we're ever dealing with, and people are still in chat going, it's just Nasher only players getting mad. It's like Gears 2 all over again, and a lot of my friends have given up with the game, and a lot of my viewers have stopped watching because even they feel like you're just shouting into an empty room and nothing's getting done. Because the game I want to play, I'm telling you, it will never exist. Like, that's the reality. Like, hopefully they create a different type of game and they balance it enough so I can have enough fun. But the ideal Gears game, it's not going to exist, I can tell you.
We want to look at, and we don't hear that much feedback on it anymore. So we feel like the simple Omen is scratching most people's itch. So, who knows in the future? But
I think a lot of that is happening as well. Like there, they said there's less and less feedback about the original Omen, so we think players are happy. I think people are just sick of it. Like, they tried for like 7 months to be like, this Omen sucks, I can't see my screen, I can't tell if I'm red. Am I a little bit red? Or am I 9% red? I can't tell. I always knew what my health was in Gears 1, 2, 3, even 4. On this game, I'd never know what my health is. And yeah, there are probably less complaints because people have probably quit, or they're just bored of saying it.
In a way that will help them stand out on the battlefield more.
Yeah,
so.
I saw it, and I think, if it
looks
gets
great.
approved,
It
it's
looks
going to
phenomenal.
be,
It looks really,
it's going to make a big difference.
Well, that would be great, because the Terminators are incredibly annoying. Again, that probably annoyed a lot of people, getting killed by Terminators and seeing them, but it's good if it's going to get changed. I still have an issue with what I call the 2B pencil, the 2 HP pencil Rev 9 that has no head. Because in a video game, you don't shoot an invisible hitbox. Like, if a character's this thin and its hitbox is this big, naturally you're going to aim at the object you can see. When it's got no head and it's really thin, when you're in a fight, you naturally try to aim at the skinny part, not the edges where there is a hitbox, and it can cause you to miss. It's a straight pay to win skin. It really is.
But we looked at the stats, and the team kind of decided that stats could take a hit in game, and that they would hopefully be able to be supported in more depth on the web, which is why the web has that kind of social stat sharing thing. The web team also, however, were then tasked with doing the tactics site and the esports site.
So he goes on to explain that a team has a limited amount of resources. They're inside Microsoft. They obviously have a budget. They can't just hire infinite people. The team that were going to do the detailed stats, because obviously the in-game stats took a hit, like Gears 2 has brilliant in-game stat tracking, Gears 5 doesn't. They were going to put all the stats online, but they got paged and tasked with doing Gears Tactics, that team. So that took a hit, and they also did the Gears esports thing. And then he says that, you know, you've got to figure out what can take a hit, what can't. So sort of what can be knocked off and doesn't leave too much of an impact. Stats was one of them. And they have to pick and choose what they want to focus on. I just think they should have binned off the esports scene. I know that's going to get a lot of flack. Nobody cares about the esports scene. There's like a few teams that play esports competitively. It's alright, hot take, get ready. Put your jackets on, I'm going in. Man's not hot. Hot take. Esports is useless on Gears because there's only a few teams that play it. There's no brackets, there's no seeded brackets. The seeded brackets are basically filled with people that want to play competitive and aren't. It's not like League where you become a brilliant player and then become competitive. Gears is kind of a scene where if you want to become competitive, you kind of can. You make your team, you play through the brackets that no one else really tries in or cares about. Most are just in there playing for skins. Most are just watching for skins. If you want to pay to go to an event, you're going to have much more chance because you can travel to the event. Teams are comprised not of the best players, but who can travel on that specific week. Yes, there are some really good players, but it's not the same as, say, a Dota scene. They could have just knocked off esports and put way more focus into the actual game. The game would have then been a lot more popular, and then the esports scene would have naturally grown out of it. I feel like every game, not just Gears these days, is trying to force every single game to be an esports, and it just doesn't need to be. There are always people that are going to play Gears for money, wager matches, host their own tournaments like a hype festation. But does it need a full esports team and full backing? I don't think so. I don't think the game's at that level yet. I think the core game should be built up to be brilliant, and then an esports will naturally grow out of it. Hell, we've even got teams match fixing. You know, it's really not a great scene, honestly. I feel like Gears competition is there. People want to watch it for skins. People like just watching teams compete. It's not necessarily that they're the best teams or the best players. They just like watching people compete. And that could happen with community-hosted tournaments, not necessarily a full esports thing. But, you know, that's by the by. I do wish the game had better stat tracking.
For us, is like custom lobbies exist, so you can still play execution and find people who want to play execution. Obviously, progression doesn't exist there, and that's something that we're still thinking about and talking about. But what we hope is that if you really want to go play execution, then you can go do that through custom lobbies. We still see those games getting kind of filled up.
Yeah, really. That's kind of why customs are dead. Customs are a great thing, and actually one of the most underrated things about the game is you can name your custom lobby. Back in the day, you would join a canals and hope it was a snipe match, or it might be a scrim, or whatever. You get kicked, or, you know, blah blah blah. On this, you can host the exact thing you want, be it sniper practice, talkball practice, bouncing, shotgun snipe. Custom games are really great. However, there's zero. You don't get any XP, you don't get anything towards your tour, and like they said, the Tour of Duty kind of is the whole game. So yes, people do like playing Execution, Guardian and stuff, but you get 0 progression. People then, well, I say people, I asked this a few months ago and they said, well, we have to gamify all the systems, and that means we can't put customization in custom games, progression in custom games, because people might abuse it. They might host a first to one and unlock things too fast or boost things. That's where it all gets difficult, managing a live service. But yeah, I wish customs were more popular, but they're just not, because you just get nothing for playing them, and these days players just want to play to unlock stuff. So that was a really long episode. It is 5 in the morning. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I thought I'd cover a ton of questions because I haven't really spoke to you, and I've just been posting Gears Tactics, which will continue. Please do support me, because even if you're not going to watch them, it's just really helpful for the channel's health, and in return I feel much more positive towards you folk at home. You know, a little bit of give and take. That's the best free way to support me. So, you know, also I might have a shop out. Weird place to mention it, but I kind of want to make some meme cups that I might do. I don't know if you'd be interested in that. Anyway, that's kind of side thought. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully that makes up for a general lack of communication. That was a long video. Give it a thumbs up, give it a comment, or don't if you don't want to. I'll check you later. And also as well, yeah, thanks to the devs for doing this. I've not been a dick when I question them or I answer them. I'm just trying to give my opinion, and I'm imagining what the viewers are. And again, I don't see this content anywhere else, so I figured I'd do it. Obviously, respect to the devs. Don't go shit talking them. Don't go tweeting them bad shit. If you've got a problem with the game, just word it in a nice way. The content goal down below here, you've got the Twitch, Twitter, you can see scrolling somewhere. And again, like it says, thanks for supporting. The best month ever on Twitch. We got 157 subs this month. We've had 11 new subs. You can see they're scrolling at @ZTwitch if you want to follow. You can support the content goal for next month if you've enjoyed the previous month's content. There's loads of ways to support, and I don't know everything about the game, that's for sure. You know, but I just tried to cover it and give my opinion.